is the number of the day. Yes, the number of the day is 1.
That is right. We are back. Number of the day is 1 for the number 1 Yankee podcast going on right now. Welcome back to another episode of Yank This. Myself, Chris, Tommy on the road again, even though he promised me he wasn't going to sub anymore. Here he is.
This is the last week, boys.
Last time.
I'm sure. Yeah. Last time until next week.
This is it.
So, guys, the intro says it all. Number 1, right? Today, unfortunately, bad loss. We are the last team to double digits.
So close to 30 wins.
We finally hit number 10. But, I was reading today, historic pace. Today, the third best start in the wild card era, only behind the 98 Yankees and I believe the 01 Seattle Mariners or the 02 Mariners, that team that went insane.
Historic, man.
I mean, guys, we're on a sick pace. We have a lot to discuss today, but Yankee Land is happy. I know we lost today, but Yankee Land should be very happy right now.
Absolutely. The way barring tonight, the way that as a team collectively we've come through in some rough situations. The pitching has been outstanding, but Chapman has seemed to falter a little bit. Other than that, we've just been on top of the league right now, just hitting, fielding, pitching. Obviously,
I mean, Tommy, your face doesn't say happy.
No, it's just you got some things you got to worry about, right? You got like Chris was saying, Chapman's a little dicey, right? The Chad Green injury hurts. A couple guys offensively not clicking. But I'm happy though. I am. It's just a couple things are concerning that could cause a problem moving forward. But right now you got to be happy at 28-10. I mean, there's a point we were 5-4 and we were like, all right, what's going on here? But now look at the run we went on, right? Went on 23-6 in our last 29 games. So it's been pretty good. Pretty good to be a Yankee fan right now.
It's definitely good. I mean, let's start. You guys both mentioned it. Let's start with the Chapman thing, right? We've seen it, guys. If I'm not mistaken, last year he started out exactly the same way. Came out like a ball of fire. Was untouchable. May turns around and he I don't know. Like it's like. He's a different pitcher. I don't know if it's because the bats start to loosen, that historically the bats are usually a little bit colder, in April and May, they start to turn around a little bit. I don't know what it is, but May is like his kryptonite. And then if he follows the pattern of last year, June, July, he usually, goes back to Chapman form. And then August, we're sweating again, but there's a guy in the bullpen that we both spoke about in the chat, right?
Right.
I don't want to put him on the screen right now. This man right here, he has been absolutely insane. One of many in the Yankees bullpen, but this guy has been absolutely. I mean, look at these numbers. It's sick what this guy is doing, and it's like it seems to be that Boone is touching all the right buttons right now with that bullpen.
Oh no, absolutely. He's been knowing, again, barring today, he's been knowing when to put guys in, when to pull guys out, and guys like Michael King. And guys like, Clay Holmes, they've been playing above their station. And it looks like that, at the end of the season, with Chapman's contract coming to an end and him making $18 million, that we may be comfortable if we let him walk.
I don't think there's any way the Yankees re-sign him after this year. I think it's money that's shed and that we're walking away 100%. I'd rather use that money towards something else, maybe a catching position if anyone's available. I have to look at it, but I don't want Chapman at all. I think we have guys who are capable of closing between Holmes, Loizaga, Michael. Listen, I love Michael King. Don't get me wrong, but I would probably lean towards Clay Holmes, in my opinion. I love Michael King, but I think he's still a little bit young. But that's just me. But Chapman definitely gone after this year. No consideration to sign him. He's not
needed. I agree. I mean, so really quickly, do you see the guy on our on our roster right now that you can see as a potential long-term closer? I know that, like, we
Clay
dabbled
Holmes.
with a bunch. You think Clay Holmes? Okay.
I think him or the King, honestly. But I would go towards Clay Holmes. That's my opinion. That's my idea of what I think he can do. The kid's really good.
See, the
I
thing
think
with
that's
letting
what I would.
someone like Chapman go is over the last few years, we've been looking for the Chapman replacement. He's still here for a reason. 2 years ago, we thought it was going to be Chad Green. Last year, we thought it was going to be Loizaga. Even before that, you had guys like Betances and Robertson. So he's still here for a reason. And I feel like I don't want to jump the gun and say this is our next guy. Let Chapman walk, and now we're here holding the bag because, again, we've seen Loizaga and Green this year. Looks like Green may be done for the year. Apparently, it's Tommy John. So I just don't want to put all my chips into one basket when it comes to somebody like Clay Holmes, who, again, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's played outstanding this year, but I'd be a little bit more comfortable even if we signed him to another 1-year deal. Just, if anything, to be an eighth inning guy. You don't have to put him in the closing spot anymore. Have him, mentor somebody like Clay Holmes or Michael King. Groom him for that role like Mariano tried to do.
I don't even know if Chapman is even. I don't know if Chapman would even be willing to do something like that. That guy seems like he wants to be the guy, and if he's not the guy, he won't be there. That's
I mean, I'm actually intrigued because there's one name that I thought that both of you would mention, and neither of you did actually. And the one guy that on our roster right now that I could actually see moving forward as a closer is Loizaga. I think the kid's got the makeup of a closer. I think he's got the stuff of a closer. And I think now, from what we're hearing from the injury today on Chad Green, it looks like all signs point to, we're hoping, we're knocking on wood, but all signs point to a potential Tommy John injury. So Loizaga is going to have an increased role, even more so than he already has. I think the kid's got the stuff, to be a closer.
The stuff is definitely there. The stuff is there. That's what his stuff was there 2 years ago. I just don't know if he has the, I don't know, maybe the moxie, I guess, to be the closer. He's been okay this year. He hasn't been great. Like, he was unbelievable the last couple of years. He's been like so-so this year. That's why, I don't know. That's why I lean towards those two other guys first, King and Holmes, with Loizaga being third.
Well, another guy on the roster right now is Zach Britton. I know I mentioned him as a trade piece last week, but Zach Britton has the experience as being a seasoned closer in the league, and he's just been out for the last 2 years. So if they were to go to anybody right now, if Chapman was to lose the job this year, I would believe it'd be to Zach Britton. But Loizaga is definitely somebody that I
get it. I see that, but I wouldn't. Zach
you wouldn't
Britton,
trust it?
No. I don't trust Zach Britton. The guy, if this sinker's not on, he walks a lot of guys.
Yes.
So I'm not.
That I can agree with.
I don't want a closer who walks people. The job is not to get guys on base. So as much as I love Zach Britton, and when that sinker's on, he's unhittable. But when it's not on, he just walks guys, and it's just no good.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, we have that right now. We have, with Chapman and his fastball or his slider, they're all the same. You know what I'm saying? When they have that one go-to pitch that when they're off with it and you only have, that's what makes, like, when you look back at it, that's what makes someone like Mariano Rivera so
his cutter.
His career makes no sense because the guy had one pitch. To be that consistent constantly with that one pitch for X amount of years and be very good at it, it really speaks to how consistent and you'll never see something like that again.
We were definitely spoiled by Mariano Rivera, and
absolutely
we're trying to find the next guy to somehow fill those shoes. And like I gave the list of Robertson, Betances, and now Chapman, Green, Loizaga. We're looking for a guy that that's never been seen before. So maybe we're a little too hard on Chapman. And trust me, I never thought I'd say those words. I have not liked this guy since the 2016 World Series when he gave up a home run to Rajai Davis.
I think Boone at some point in the season is going to have to gamble and pull a string. I don't think you can. I don't think you can continue to roll with someone just because they're getting paid to be in that role. Production has to speak at some point.
Well, that's what happens though. If you look around sports, right, guys are measured sometimes based off to what their contracts are. Like, oh, this
That's the
guy
biggest
sucks
problem.
because he's making $25 million a year. Well, actually, he's actually a pretty solid player, but you can't say money versus what they're doing. Like I would not. I just don't want to pay Chapman $18 million to be an eighth inning guy, and he's just not there lately. It's clearly you can see it. He doesn't have it. I don't know what his deal is, but Michael King, man, when he comes into the game, the kid's ready to go. He has
Yeah,
that
he's
moxie,
throwing
man.
strikes.
Him and like I said, him and Holmes, but man, Michael King, when you watch that kid pitch, man, he gets into it. He feels the crowd off the feels the energy, feeds off it. He's just so good.
I wish
0.82
there
whip,
was.
crazy.
Yeah, there was one stat I wish I was trying to find it, but Michael King's first pitch strike percentage, it's got to be astronomical. This kid goes after you. He does not, he doesn't like to dance around the plate. He is literally, and I see Chris hard at work trying to find it, but Michael King's first pitch strike percentage has to be north of 85%.
I was
I'm
gonna
saying
say
it
probably at
has
least
to.
80%.
Yeah, it's got to be north of 85% because the kid throws strikes, and it's, he I think the other night, last night, he pitched 23 strikes, 23 pitches or whatever it was. I think 17 of them were strikes. He doesn't really give, he doesn't give away too many pitches. But speaking of gambling, and not the Las Vegas kind, we have another gentleman on our team, okay, that gambled on himself. All hail the king.
Oh,
All hail the judge. All rise. All do whatever you want. This man is absolutely tearing the cover off the ball right now. I mean, look at these numbers right now. Tied for 16th in average, first in home runs, fifth in RBIs, third in runs, third in OPS, first in total bases. It's sick what he's doing, and Yankee fans, listen, I can understand, Yankee fans were enjoying this as much as you can, but you cannot tell me that the front office of the New York Yankees right now is not super uneasy. They have to be super uneasy.
I think an MVP would be the worst thing to happen to Brian Cashman, because that gives Judge all the leverage. He could ask for a 10-year, $400 million and say, why not? I'm the MVP.
Yeah.
Of course, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Aaron Judge do his thing and be the best player in baseball. But can you maybe do that next year? Can you stay solid this year, be above and beyond next year, and do it in the pinstripes?
Yeah, no, I mean, it would be sick. It would be absolutely sick.
Yeah, I love what he's doing. It's amazing. But like Chris was saying, maybe the MVP season is not exactly what we need out of him, right? Because it makes other teams maybe want to go get him, or makes him think like he's worth so much more, which he is. He's amazing. But like I said, I don't know. Every time you heard all the reports from ESPN about them getting close to a deal, it was always about the amount of years, guys, not really the money, right? The $33 million a year annually wasn't the problem. He wanted a 10-year deal. So if LA Angels step up, or the Dodgers step up to the plate and say, yo, we'll give you that extra 2 years, that might get it done. And I don't know if it matters if they give him $40 million a year or $38 million a year. I think it's about the years, but the Yankees don't do those kind of contracts no more. Yeah, we signed Cole to it. Besides that, all the long-term deals that the Yankees were doing were trades that we took in. The A-Rod trade, the Stanton trade, right? Big trades that we got a lot of years left on a deal, not us giving out stuff. So I'm not sure what's going to happen next year, but I want Judge on my team. And if you have to give the extra 2 years and eat those 2 years with him not being the greatest player at 40, you got to do it to get it done. Like, you need the guy on your team. It's pretty evident.
I'd give him this. I'd give him the C on the jersey. I'd give him the captainship.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked. Speaking of that, I'm actually shocked. Jeter's been gone a while, guys. I'm actually shocked I'm surprised that someone hasn't been labeled the captain yet. I get it. There hasn't been many viable options. I thought at one point, our good friend Brett Gardner was going to get slapped with it just because seems to be around forever. But I mean, Judge undoubtedly has earned it. As far as that, he's we joke around. I have a group chat in my job. He's the face of baseball. we could say what it is. He's the face. The guy does not do anything wrong. He's never in trouble. He does everything the right way. You saw what he did with the kid who caught his ball. He got the home run ball in Toronto, and he offered him tickets to come to New York if he's ever here and sit in the judge's chamber. The guy, he just does everything the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough not to see him but Chris, in the chat the other day, you proposed a very scary option of him possibly ending up in Anaheim and having an outfield of having an Ohtani, Trout, and Judge 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Who's also been Taylor Ward has also been raking in LA.
Yeah, and they've been actually really good.
Walsh is good. They just got a good team, man. Like they're actually like Rondon.
New York Yankee legend Tyler Wade.
Yeah, they're actually playing really, really well.
Velasquez.
For those, by the way, who follow the minor leagues pretty closely, St. Louis is finally calling up the young phenom, Mr. Gorman. He is coming up to the man. He is getting called up. He's getting the call.
Okay.
So he's someone that I have in a few of my dynasty leagues. He looks to be a player that we're going to want to hold on to. But all right, before we get to the next topic, let's pay some bills, guys. Make sure you go to firedupsportsapparel.com. Yep, that's it. Make sure you get your Judge bombs, Stanton bombs. All your Gallo and Rizzo shirts. Make sure you get all of the apparel only at firedupsportsapparel.com. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Yes, we are on TikTok. Once we figure out how to really use it, but we're on TikTok. But guys, back to this. So let's talk last team to 10. Tommy, you're starting a new little series here of trades, and I know that you I know that you had one trade in mind, but someone is really irking your craw lately. So let's hear it, Tommy. What's the trade of the week?
All right, so really spoke about it last week. I wanted to upgrade the catcher position, but there's really no one available that really is like, oh my God, we got to go get him, right? So the more and more I watch this gentleman play, the more and more I want him gone for a bag of popcorn. And Aaron Hicks, man, sorry, buddy. I defended you for a long time. Not a bad deal. 7 years, $82 million, whatever it was around that ballpark. But he's got to go, man. It's just time. It's time to trade him. And honestly, that's my trade of the week, but I don't even know who to trade him for. That's the problem. I don't know what you're going to get for him, right? I don't want to tie a young prospect to him just to get rid of him, but you really might have to tie a decent prospect to get rid of this guy. It's just he's bad. He's batting 138.
You think the Mariners would take a Jared Kelenic call after they just sent him down?
I don't know, man. I know that kid's supposed to be really good, and he came up, last year.
He had a lot of promise, but he really struggled this year, and he's already been sent down. So if
I rather honestly, we got some young guys in our minor league system, right? With obviously Florial and a couple other guys. I don't know Dominguez. If Dominguez, right? He's obviously still really young, but I don't know if I would go for such a young guy. I might go for like a decent veteran that still can play the center field position, but I don't know who's available. But Hicks got to go, and that's what it is. Yeah, I don't care who he's for.
Yeah, I think right now, and I'm in one of a million Yankees groups, and we were talking about him today. I think having been out almost all of last season with the injury, then coming back, them acquiring Gallo. Now he sees Stanton playing the outfield. Doesn't help that you have right now the front runner for MVP playing right next to you. The guy definitely could feel the pressure. You could see it every time. You could see it because the emotions coming out at the plate, and now, for anyone that's played baseball, when you're in that slump, what does every manager tell their guy? Choke up on the bat, just put the ball in play, try to, and if you watched Hicks today, his hands were almost on the barrel of the bat. That's how high he was choking up on the bat. Yeah. And he was trying to do anything. He came up in a couple of big spots that he did not, he didn't.
He came up with them loaded behind Torres after Torres struck out, and Hicks was 3-2. The pitch he struck out on was definitely about 6 inches outside, and he wasn't even close. I can't continue to keep watching that because when this comes to playoffs and we need this guy to come through, and he's not doing it, it's just going to be another out in our lineup. Like, no offense, let's switch it up a little bit to go into Gallo. Joey Gallo has struck out. Joe, I know you want to keep him last week. That was your thing. Keep Joey Gallo, but he struck out 44% of his at bats this year.
But that's his numbers historically, Tommy.
That's crazy though.
It's never been this bad. He stays around the 36, 37 range, but 44.
Right, but it's gonna guys. We're a month and a half into the season. It's gonna average.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is when you got if you have 7-8, if you're 7-8-9 hitter going to be Gallo, Hicks, and Higashioka, that's not good, guys. That's in the postseason. That's what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. And now speaking of Higashioka, today I'm reading an article, and I'm actually hoping it doesn't happen. But apparently there is starting to become a lot of traction between the New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs. Okay,
I would love
they
Contreras.
Yeah, I see.
Sorry,
I wouldn't. No, Tommy, it's Gary Sanchez all over again. The guy he's a solid hitter. He does not play good defense. Right now, our team is built around defense. The guys behind the plate, the guys behind the plate, Trevino is framing at a like his framing is stupid.
See, that's why I wouldn't mind the Contreras deal, because when we need the guy to be the defender that can throw guys out and frame pitches and control a staff, that's when you play Trevino.
Yeah, but you're not. But here's the thing: you're not going to carry. You're not going to carry three catchers. So that means either Trevino or Higgy are getting DFA'd or sent down. Okay, so that's my thing. Like, with your trade of the day, I know you said you didn't want to package him with a minor leaguer, but I see Hicks and a minor leaguer written all over it for Contreras.
What about
I really do.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Guess what? I would pull up the Yankee Stadium in my car and I would drive Aaron Hicks right to LaGuardia or JFK myself. Hop in, kid. Your Uber's here. Tom is here. You gotta go.
No,
it's time.
Yeah, no, I get it. He doesn't look he looks like a guy who's scared at the plate. That's just really what it is. But guys, I don't know. I know that you had mentioned you didn't see much of the game. I'm hoping both one of two of you caught this. For those who are not familiar with the Yankees broadcast team right now, the last couple of games has been Michael Kay, Cameron Maybin, and Carlos Beltran. Okay.
Yep.
There was a point in the game, I want to say it was either the 7th or 8th inning. Marwin Gonzalez comes up and he's on a 3-2 count, gets frozen with a curveball. And Carlos Beltran has the audacity to say, I will never understand how a major league hitter can stand at the plate and watch a ball go down the middle of the plate and not swing.
Oh, really, Mr. Get caught looking against Adam Wainwright? Are you kidding me?
I was like this. I was like, this guy definitely did drugs beforehand, because how do you have the audacity to say that?
Let me tell you something real quick, off topic. Which I'm starting to jump to this, but
no,
I love Carlos Beltran, but I miss the Ken Singleton and David Cone days in the booth with Michael Kay.
John Flaherty.
I really can't do Beltran and Maybin, man. I know they want to switch it up and get some ex-players in the game, but those guys are just not good at calling the game. Michael Kay is great, but I need Ken Singleton to come out of retirement and John Flaherty to get back in there.
Yeah,
and Coney.
ESPN did a great job locking up Coney. Coney does so well on Sunday Night Baseball.
Coney's the man, dude.
He really is. He was.
And I miss Paul O'Neill. Where's Paul O'Neill been in the booth?
Paul's just
he's catching tens and golfing.
He's not vaccinated, so I believe he's still at home. He's offered to do it from his house, but I feel like they wanted the in-person crew.
Yeah, it's it's a little tough. I mean, with all of that going on. But so let's talk about this weekend, right? Pitching staff still unbelievable. Nasty Nestor, when we last from last week's episode, puts up another phenomenal performance. Montgomery looked a little shaky today. He gives up that 2-run home run to Chirinos. Cole has looked good. 7-2 last night. I would say a big weekend, but I mean, White Sox, who have really underperformed, and we get the Orioles again. Guys, what about this? what is it that this team is doing differently? Like, is it? I mean, they're not. It almost seems to me like they're not relying on the home run as much.
I was gonna say that actually. I was gonna say real quick. The Yankees are actually playing a different brand of baseball. We know we have the home run hitters, right? Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, but now we're doing other things that we really haven't really done in the last couple of years. Guys are hitting for average. Carlos Stanton's batting 290. Judge is hitting 304. And we got guys who make contact and guys who run the bases really well. So it's a different brand of baseball, and we have the home runs in our back pocket if we need it. But I think we're just playing baseball the way it's supposed to be played. We're stealing bases. So I like what I see. It's a definitely different brand of baseball, and this brand has not been working out, guys, for the last 4 or 5 years. If you can look in the playoffs, it's either
Right.
boom or bust, home run
Right.
or we're out. So I like what I'm seeing. I know it's only 38 games in, but definitely different kind of whole baseball that we're playing, and I like what I see.
When the
No,
Yankees
absolutely.
brought in Josh Donaldson and IKF, the one guy that I was avid on being the everyday starter, no matter where, was DJ LeMahieu, because he does what he needs to do. He does what he needs to do. He's a contact hitter first. He knows how to get on base. He could still run the bases pretty well for someone that's been in the league since 2009. DJ is the guy that I wanted to build around because he's not the guy that's boom or bust. He could hit 20 home runs in a season. He'll also hit 30 doubles. And he just knows where to put the ball. Very Jeter-like when you need him to get that big hit. Guys like DJ is the guy that I want. And I feel like absolutely that we've played better for contact with guys like IKF and Trevino and DJ.
I agree. I also gotta give a lot of credit to Aaron Boone, guys. Having all those guys is a logjam, but he's been doing a really good job of rotating them in and out of the infield, DHing and the infield. He's done a great job. Boone gets a lot of crap. But even exactly like you said earlier, Joe, pushing all the right buttons. Like I said, you got 5 positional players for the infield, and you got 4 outfielders. What are you going to do? Donaldson sits. LeMay who plays third, and the play he made today at third base was great.
Oh my God, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Oh my God, backhand, no problem. The spot. It was a dime piece right to Rizzo. It's like, come on, the guy
he's
can
elite
play
defensively too.
Oh God,
at all 4 infield positions, he's elite.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
People forget that. They look at last year. Listen, none of us are professional athletes. You don't realize how much an injury can affect you on a day-to-day basis when you're playing, a sport, playing 162 game season, whatever it was last year. That was his worst season of his career. And he's back to being DJ LeMahieu, every day. And like I said, Chris, before you had mentioned preseason, everyone was like, Glaber needs to sit, get Glaber out, but IKF, Josh Donaldson, these guys have really infused the Yankees with, a little bit of life, a little bit of everything. Today, Aaron Boone, to show you the difference of this kind of game, Aaron Boone, 2 outs in the 9th, okay, is telling IKF to steal third. Like he's telling him, he's literally, you could see it on camera. They have the camera on Boone and IKF. He's like telling him, "Yeah, go. If you got it, go." It just shows you like they've taken on the small, not to say small ball, but they're now manufacturing runs as opposed to just sitting back and relying on 500-foot bombs.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, if we need a 3-run shot from one of our 5 guys who can do it,
that's the thing. We have 3 guys in double-digit home runs already with Rizzo, Stanton, and Judge. Yeah. So we can do it that way.
We might have 5 guys who hit 20 to 25 home runs.
Easily.
You got Rizzo, Stanton, and Judge are 3 locks for 25. I'm not sure what Donaldson could do, and I'm not sure what Torres can do.
I'm telling you, Gallo will hit you 25.
Gallo can get 25.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Gallo, 6 guys.
Yeah. One name that I'm seeing that could be brought up for trade is Andrew Benintendi out in Kansas City.
That's another name I've heard linked. That'd be nice. To
the Yankees?
Yeah.
That would be nice. But the problem is
type character.
But again,
maybe playing obviously the outfield, right?
Yeah. He'd probably be the everyday left and maybe swap in Stanton. Stanton's going to stay as regular DH and swap in when we need him.
I think Joey Gallo can play center, right? If we need him, right?
Gallo can play all 3. Judge can play all 3, but not as
I'd
much.
rather do a center field committee than keep watching Aaron Hicks go out there. I really do. I can't do it no more. It's just tough.
Even if you watched again, I don't mean to harp on just today's game, right? But today was kind of like the aberration of everything that's wrong with Aaron Hicks. Not coming through in the clutch at the plate, but even on a couple of plays in the field, very lackadaisical, very like, I don't want to be here kind of, you could see it, like,
Yeah.
not, you don't even have to be an avid sports guy. You could just literally watch him.
That's funny you brought that up
Never
because
saw
my
that at a Brett
coworker
Gardner.
said the same thing
Yeah.
to me.
He's like, okay, whatever. Like a ball in the gap. He's like, he's trotting. Like, no, like get on your horse and get there. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's just, he needs to just be, I don't think he could be sent down if I'm not mistaken. I doubt he could be
I
sent down.
don't think he has any minor league options left.
Yeah, I don't think he has any options. I'm looking at, the Yankees have a Robinson Cano on their hands right now. That's what it is.
To an extremely less extent, but I can see where you're coming from.
I'd also be comfortable
finding a trade partner and maybe grabbing a pitching prospect, signing Brett Gardner, because I know he's going to give me effort out in center field. He can still track a ball down.
I'm not. Listen. I love Brett Gardner. Leave him where he is.
I think he'd be the perfect pinch runner situation if we need somebody on the bags.
He's enjoying that Southern life in South Carolina with his family, man.
Yeah,
he's retired without being retired because the Yankees aren't going to ask him to come back. He only wanted to come back for the Yankees. He was holding
down that Blue Jays deal.
Yeah, he turned down $10 million, guys, okay, to go play for the Blue Jays because he wanted to be a Yankee. Those days are over with Gardner. I see what you're saying, but yeah, I'd rather go with bring up either Florial or even a small trade and then have those guys platoon between Stanton, Gallo, and whoever we do bring in to play center and rotate.
I mean, don't forget, you also have you still have Marwin who can play the outfield.
Play the corners.
He can play the corner outfield.
What happened to Tim LaCastro? Is he hurt?
No, he's hurt.
But when he comes back, he could definitely slot in.
Okay, because he was playing pretty well before he got hurt. I haven't seen him.
That kid's a speedster. That's what he is. Our Brett Gardner.
He's the upgrade for Brett Gardner. I said that last year, but he can't stay healthy.
No, that's the problem. We stole him from Arizona last year for a bag of peanuts. Exactly what we're trying to send to Aaron Hicks for Aaron Hicks right now. But yeah. So let's see. All right, Chris. Let's see. What do we got? You got any stats for me? I know I gave you some homework last week.
Tommy kind of stole mine. I was going to mention Joey Gallo, 44% strikeout rate. One of the worst in baseball, outside of the top 175, which is insane to think that Joey Gallo is not a top 175 guy I could trust at the plate to put it in play. That guy, he's great. I love him defensively, but at a certain point, when we have to choose, we're already paying Hicks if we can't move off his money. We're already paying Stanton. Do we really need to pay both Joey Gallo and Aaron Judge?
I agree.
If it's going to come down to it, Aaron Judge is going to get a massive contract, and we'll let Joey Gallo walk. But I think Joey Gallo is a great defensive player. I think he's just in his own head. He wants to just shut everybody up. And he's just not taking it one plate appearance at a time.
I agree. Another guy that came to New York. I mean, obviously, no offense. I don't care how long it's been. He can't. New York is not a good spot for him. It's not. Put him back in a smaller market where the eyes aren't on him and watch him hit 40 home runs again. I guarantee it. Pencil it in. New York's not the spot for him. That's it. And it's just, when you got to move on, you got to move on.
New York has had a lot of people that have come here and kind of stolen our money.
But guys, let that sink in though for a second. 44% of the time he's striking out. Guys, that's 4 out of 10 plate appearances. He's not making contact. You can't have that in your lineup.
No, I get it. It's definitely not. But again, he brings a lot. He brings a lot to the table.
But he's not bringing it to the plate. Is the problem, Joe? He's not bringing it to the plate.
Chris, I get that, but here's the thing. He gives me solid effort on defense. He draws walks. He has a high on base percentage. You got to remember, you guys have watched Moneyball, okay? Billy Beane didn't give a shit about how many hits. He had 3 stats. That was it. on base. He wants to know how many times. Listen, Scott Hatteberg was not exactly knocking. People aren't knocking doors down to get Scott Hatteberg on their team. Billy Beane did because why? Because the guy gets on base.
It's like last week when you brought up the Adam Dunn stat. It's the same exact thing.
It is. And, and like right now, and in this market, Adam Dunn would be a $350 million player. Call it what it is. He'd be a $350 million player because there's 10 Adam Dunns floating around right now.
He's below 300 on base percentage. So that's just not true. He's 290. And he's got
this year it's bad.
This year is bad. I get it.
But he's having his worst year of his career right now. It's a very young career, and again, I love him as a defender, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch because I would agree with you if he was drawing more walks, but his OPS is 621, and only 290 coming from on base. I don't really. I love Joey Gallo defensively, and trust me, I wish he was there with the stick, but he just hasn't been. So I think at the end of the year, we might have to move him.
He's 8 years in the league. He's hit over 250 once. He's hit once, but
he's always above 300 in terms of on base, and he's not there.
He's a career 331 in Texas. He was at 330, 336 right now. In the 2 years with the Yankees, he's at like 298. With the 2 year, but like my thing is that it's just I don't know.
His slugging is down too. It's not just the on base. His slugging is down.
Maybe it's just my my Italian side coming out that I don't want the Paisan to get cut. Maybe that's what it is.
Listen, I get it. I can see you arguing both ways for it, but like I said, already with Hicks struggling and the catching position. You can't have 3 dead spots in your lineup because come playoffs, that is exposed. That's exposed.
100%, as it is every year. But guys, let's talk about this other thing here. News came out the other day. I can't even believe we're going to give this guy airtime, but we're going to talk about it. Jake Sanford. Okay,
it's the only time his name will ever have relevance in New York.
Yes, Yankees minor leaguer. Released for stealing basically his teammates, equipment, stuff like that. And a story came out this morning that I actually found pretty funny. That a little kid went up to one of the minor league players with his baseball bat and said, "Hey, can you autograph this for me?" So the minor league player looks at the kid like, "Where the hell did you get this?" And he was like, your teammate traded me your bat for baseball cards of him. So this kid was stealing, it's just crazy. Like, is it that bad? Is it getting that bad out there right now?
Betting on himself, I guess.
I mean, I don't know what these minor leaguer guys are getting paid, but he tried to do something to get some kind of money.
I mean, but listen, you traded for baseball cards of yourself. I think it was just to say that he was on a baseball card because there is no way that anyone's going to sign this kid again.
No.
Yeah, no.
His career is it's gone.
100% gone. No doubt about that. For a baseball card, I don't understand.
I read the article this morning. I'm like, this can't be right. This can't be right. All right, let's talk about the upcoming series. We got the White Sox. We start a 6-game homestand, 3 against the White Sox, 3 against the Orioles. Nasty Nestor is set to pitch again on Saturday.
Best ERA in baseball, Nasty Nestor.
Yeah, it's sick. What he's doing. They're now talking about how a lot of.
Tell me we lost you. There we go.
Sorry, I had an incoming call. I had to ixnay it real quick.
So our esteemed colleague, Mr. Scarola, said that supposedly the kid Sanford in the minor leagues had a solid bat. So
cool. Don't care.
What it is.
Locker room cancer. Can't trust him.
Yeah,
Chris,
exactly.
Cool. Don't care.
yeah. He wasn't making the squad, but yeah. So I mean, Nasty Nestor, best ERA in the league. It's crazy. Him and then the the man who will never die,
The timeless fucking wonder, Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander. What does Kate Olsen do for him at home? Like
It's got to be magical.
There was a point where his last year in Detroit, you literally arguably could have said that this guy was done, like it was over. His career was over. His spin rates were down. He was getting smacked up. He was pitching to like a 5.5 ERA. Now, how good is he? It's actually pretty gross.
Well, you got to remember those
going
Detroit
on.
teams. Those Detroit teams didn't give any confidence to any player after Mike Ilitch's death. They threw all that money
when you're with a
at
team,
Cliff Lee. And
but
Prince
how do you
Fielder.
have not? But guys, how do you not have confidence when you have a rotation at one point of Verlander, Scherzer,
Porcello,
Porcello, and like that rotation was stupid.
No, it was ridiculous.
Stupid. Yeah.
And then you had the bats. You had Victor Martinez, Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder.
Yeah, they had a solid squad, But let's talk about we're gonna go around the league for a little bit before we to close it out. We have been nice. We have not said anything about the Mets all game. Nice comeback win for them today. Polar Bear wins it in the 9th, but they got some bad news. Mad Max out 6 to 8 weeks. Mets have $75 million worth of salary on the DL right now. It's not not looking good over there.
That's tough.
That's a tough loss, and it's good for baseball when both New York teams are good. They've been playing really well. Hopefully they can, listen, say what it is. The division's not very good. Atlanta's really the only team that they have to truly worry about, but Atlanta would have to go on a little bit of a run to make it competitive.
Yeah, so I was having lunch at TJF Fridays today before a kickoff launch at my company at the branch, and I was sitting there eating with my buddy Joe, and he's a big Mets fan, and we heard the news together, and we were watching the Yankee game, a couple innings, and we talked about it. I said, if he misses, let's call it 6 weeks, roughly 50 games, I said if the Mets play 500 baseball, they'll still be in first place.
Don't give him that false
confidence. They will. No. That's not a bad thing. I'm just being honest.
Uncle Stevie has $75 million in between his couch cushions. That's fantastic. That's why you see what happens. You talk a little bit about the Mets, and they all come out in hordes.
The Mets were too good to fail last year, and they failed.
It's listen. I do think. Listen, I'm a professional Mets hater. I'm not only a president, I'm also a member. But I will say that there is something different about this team. Okay, it is. They're a little bit different. They're built a little bit different. I don't know if it's the confidence. Listen, the old expression "a fish rots from the head." Under the Wilpons, that's exactly what you got. It rotted from the head all the way down. I think Uncle Stevie, as I like to call him, has a different whatchamacallit. He's injected a little bit of life into this, into this organization. And
I don't think this is the same Mets. I don't think this is the same Mets as every year.
Yeah, usually by June,
this is not the same team that's going to falter. I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah, and he's going to make the moves that they need. No, and they're going to make the moves that they need. Like they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Last season, I was counting down the days. I was very forward that it's the Mets. They're going to collapse, and everybody told me, "Oh, they're great after the All-Star break. They're historic after the All-Star," and they fell apart. But I don't see that team this year. I see them actually being contenders out in the National League, and I hate saying that. I'm wishing on the collapse. I'm praying on it.
It hurts us. It hurts us. But,
but at the end of the day, this team is different. Same thing with the Yankees, but there's a different fire there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then let's go West Coast right now. Talking about a team that we mentioned earlier, the Angels, Shohei Ohtani, third Japanese player to 100 home runs, could arguably be the best Japanese player we've ever seen in the league. And that it hurts me because I love Godzilla.
I love Ichiro.
I love Ichiro. I love Godzilla. Both of those guys are great, but what this kid does on a night to night basis is sick.
With the stick and his arm.
Yeah, he's both sides, and it's crazy. He's super, super talented. But yeah,
if he stays healthy, he'll be the best.
Him and Trout
Yeah.
both have an
Japanese
MVP case
player.
right now. They may cancel each other out.
Well, I mean, listen, I
That's for
want
sure.
to see Trout. I want to see Trout in the playoffs. Not
They've wasted too much of his career. Absolutely.
like the kid deserves to be in the playoffs. The kid deserves. You heard all the way growing up. Oh, he's the next coming of Mickey Mantle. He's this. He's that. But somehow he's always eluded the play. The playoffs have always eluded him, and I would love to see the kid in the playoffs. I think that it's something that baseball needs and wants, and the owner this year has decided to spend a couple dollars. They've had pitching has been pretty good. I mean, Syndergaard had a bad outing after he talked some crap about the Mets, but he's been pretty solid this year. He's been pretty solid this year.
Yeah, that rookie that threw a no hitter.
Yeah, a real no hitter.
Yeah.
But
Combined
it's-
no hitter.
Yeah, listen, it happens. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna leave off on that. We are going to be back next Thursday. Tommy is going to figure out who he wants to trade Aaron Hicks to.
Yes, this is going to be 100%, guys. I will have a player to be named. I didn't
Tommy made a
have
play.
players to be named because I
And
wanted
cash
to trade him
considerations.
I wanted
Tommy.
I wanted to trade him for a concession stand item, guys. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Tommy was ready to trade him for 3 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, and
No problem. You give
Then
me
got to be
3.
full.
You give me 3 of the Thin Mints, and I'm taking Aaron Hicks to LaGuardia, guys. I said that already.
You might even drive him to Chicago if that's the case.
Listen, no problem. I have a friend that lives in Chicago. Gives me a reason to go.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, we're gonna be back next Thursday, 6 p.m. here on the Fired Up Sports Network. Make sure to tune in. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're on everything. We're everywhere. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure to get in all the action. Also, for everyone interested, going forward on all the shows, you want to jump in, ask us a question. We'll put the link in the comments so you can come on in. But for myself, Chris, the super sub Tommy, we'll see him bowling next week.
No, I'll be home, guys. Trust me, I come from my own home. Ready to go.
All right, guys. Episode number 2 of Yank This is in the books. Gentlemen, we will see you next week and hopefully still be the number 1 team in all of baseball.
Yep.
Yes, that's going to be
No
you
doubt.
can pencil that in.
No
You
doubt.
can pencil that in? All right, we're taking it to the bank. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Have a great night, and we're out.
All right, God bless.